I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another special guest. He's one of the hosts of a fellow Broadway Podcast Network show called The Broadway Husbands. He's the Broadway life coach. You may have seen him on Broadway in Wicked or Little Mermaid or on your big screen in The Wolf of Wall Street. But most importantly, he's been in 2 different productions of Cats, and that's why he's here today. So Bret Shuford, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I am excited to hear about both of your productions. But before we get into your experience with the show, I want to hear about your experience with the show before you were in them. So how did Cats play a part in your musical theater experience? Was it something you saw as a kid, or is it something you picked up on later in life?
Funny that you ask. The national tour, I didn't really know Cats except for like David Letterman, because then I don't know if you remember, David Letterman used to go over to the Winter Garden and have the Cats come do stuff at his theater. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but Hoosier, David Letterman. You
should YouTube it, because he used to go pick on that, because the theater was like really close to his theater, and also the Flash Dancers, the adult strip club that was like across the street as well. He used to go pick on both of those venues. And then also there was that show that, what was it called? Caroline, it was a sitcom called Caroline something, from the 90s, and her roommate was
Clarissa explains it all.
No.
Okay.
And I think it had Caroline sitcom. It's gonna kill me. What was it called? Caroline in the City. Do you remember that sitcom?
City. I do not remember that sitcom.
And it starred what's her name from Back to the Future? God, my brain is not working. It's Friday. What's her name from Back to the Future? That was like the love interest in Back to the Future. Anyway, she had her roommate was in Cats. And so I remember those 2 things specifically about Cats, and I'd never seen the show until like whatever 20th national tour came to my hometown of Orange, Texas for 2 nights. And my parents got me front row seats. And I actually know a couple of people who are on that tour now. They're actually friends of mine. But at the time, I was 15 or 14. And I was just mesmerized by the dancing and the lighting and the costumes. And I remember one of the things that happened to that, I had this very vivid dream of being in the show. Like, it was a very vivid. I remember waking up and being like, I had a dream I was in Cats last night.
Which cat were you in that dream?
I don't even know, because when you see the show the first time, you don't know who's who. Like, nobody's anybody. It's just
I still don't know who's who half the time.
It's a blur. I was somebody in a unitard crawling around on stage, but it was cool.
That's awesome. And so then you kind of go on, and you originally get to become a swing in the Westchester Broadway show. What was the theater here?
Yeah, the Westchester Broadway Dinner Theater,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They actually had I think they had the first licensing rights of the production right after it closed. At least that's what they had told us. Whether that's true, I don't know.
That was the marketing line.
So I ended up getting cast. And the reason why I say that is because it was set by the resident choreographer and the resident music director, both set that production. And I was a swing. I covered Monkey Strap. I covered Skimbleshanks. And I covered like Alonzo. And I think one other track. I can't remember who it was. And then I was a pit, one of the pit singers.
Okay. So what I'm always interested about is when you're, especially as a swing, what were you told about the characters? Like when you were like taking them on, like were you given backstories? Were you given like 2016, they were given 3 words for each cat, but What were you told at the Westchester Broadway Dinner Theater about how to portray each character?
Well, they don't really break it down into characters as much as they break it down as a tribe, right? So it all starts with you being a tribe and everyone's sort of crawling around. And then when you start learning the numbers is when they explain relationships within the numbers, which doesn't mean that's consistent throughout the show. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I mean, definitely.
So they'll be like, this person is this to you in this song, but then like 3 songs later, they're nobody to you. Like it doesn't make sense in that way. Because it's poems, it's weird.
Well, it's a very loose plot, kind of pulled together with a couple different.
I guess I will tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. McCavity, they would tell you, is like the leader of the group. He sort of helps comfort everyone and bring, sort of direction to the evening.
That's got to be Old Deuteronomy, not McCavity.
Sorry, I didn't mean McCavity. I meant Monkistrap.
Monkistrap. Okay, yeah. The
right.
narrator.
Sort of,
The
narrator. He sort of like helps bring comfort to everyone and protect everyone from McCavity. I think that's why I was thinking. McCavity.
Yeah.
He helps kind of be the sort of the leader of the group.
Okay, so you're not given a lot going in. With it being a dinner theater, did they alter the menu to be Cats themed?
No, this place is so budget. It's like, I think they serve the same thing every night. I know the dessert was always the same. It was a peaches melba.
What a missed opportunity.
We would be killing ourselves on this thrust stage, doing the Jellicle ball, dying, panting, and then we da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and land, and somebody would just be sitting there eating a peach melba.
Did Bustopher Jones, whoever played this in this theater, go out and actually eat off of someone's plate in the crowd?
I don't remember him doing that, but that's a brilliant idea. I think he did walk through the house, but I think they tried to keep food away from him. Okay,
and how long was your run there?
They always do kind of long runs. I think they always do like 3-month runs, or I mean, they're pretty long, and you commute from the city up to Westchester. 2 show days are really long there, but I was right out of college. I mean, I just got my equity card and was so excited to do Cats because I'd had that dream when I was, 15. And so, but I ended up leaving early because I ended up booking another gig and I ended up leaving that contract. But I did go on for Monkistrap, I think twice, actually.
So then how long was it before your second run at the Walnut Street Theater as Skimbleshanks? Yeah. How long between the two?
So that was like 2002, I guess, at Westchester. And then 2004 was Walnut Street. So about 2 years later. And
what were you told anything different there now that you're Skimbleshanks? You got, you're not playing multiple characters. You got your one role. How much backstory did you kind of come up with in your own mind for this?
Well, you actually get most of the backstory from the cast because with Cats being what it is and the amount of material movement wise you have to learn, they always bring people in who've done the show before and they'll tell you like, this is who Jenny Anydots is this to this person. And so you get a lot of it from the cast and then stuff that I had remembered from doing it before. So I'm trying to remember, but I will say this, Cats is one of those shows you learn from the outside in. A lot of shows you learn from the inside out. Like, here's why we're telling the story. Cats, you learn the movement, you learn the music, and then slowly you start to figure things out in between. And I feel like there was just like, it's hard to explain how you learn backstory when they're just trying to teach you, like, you're going to paw here and you're going to jump there,
So it's interesting you say it that way because that's the way I feel like it was written, which is like someone decided they were a DJ and wrote all the songs and had a couple like really great dance ideas and like, oh, but none of this makes sense. So let's add a little bit of an arc here to try to tie this together, and it's loose. And so I feel like that I'm not surprised they taught it to you that way because I think I've thought more about which cats are related to other cats than the actual people that created the show.
Well, you can't. I mean, it's just you kind of have to make sense of it when you're doing it. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So everyone just kind of makes sense of it as they go. And then they teach you that, like, hey, this is why I crossed stage right at that moment. It's because I was made a decision that that's a person. And you're like, okay, I guess I'll do that too. And now I'm monkey strap.
I love how little thought it seems like went into this versus what the super fans and everyone else has clearly like really thought about. And it seems very obvious that all of those fan rumors and everything that's out there is just that, from fans and not from actual. We thought that Old Deuteronomy is the father of this particular cat, and this one's definitely owned by the landlord and all of these other pieces. I think it's so much up for interpretation that when you're in the dinner theater, it's just like, just go out there and dance. Like, don't worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, but that's the fans are what make things shine. I mean, I remember, I'm a huge Disney nerd, right? And like, you go to Disneyland and go to Haunted Mansion, and it's a super fun experience. But people will tell you this whole storyline about how the Haunted Mansion is run by this guy, Mr. Gracie, and the names of the ghosts are this, and like Disney never did that. That's all the fans but fans are like die hard. They will make that work. And I feel like it's the same thing with cats. It's like, it's so much more fun to do it for those people who are invested in you than the people eating the peach melba.
Yeah. People there for dinner, the ones that brought their kids and have no interest in seeing it. So how much, as you've been very successful in a lot of different shows and been on Broadway, and how much is this Cats influence, not just you, but like the Broadway community? Like, it's definitely one of the longest running shows, and it's got all of this kind of this fame and history and the butt end of a lot of jokes. But from an artistic standpoint, like, what does having that on your resume kind of do for you as a performer?
Well, I think that I think I think what makes Cats so brilliant is Gillian Lynn's choreography. And personally, I think she really is the heart of that show. And so I think if you have Cats on your resume, I think Gillian Lynn, rest her soul, I got to work with her in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as well, was a genius. And I think having that on your resume as a movement, as a dancer and a storyteller and a theater person, that says a lot about your ability to be a dancer and your ability to tell a story while dancing. I think that, I also think that the Andrew Lloyd Webber, Cameron McIntosh, like that world, just like Disney on Broadway, there's like a little family in there, and there's people who I worked on those shows with, who still run that organization, that I still stay in touch with. And you kind of become a part of that little network and that little family of people. And to me, that's what makes Broadway so special, is the community.
Yeah. So I felt, you can feel that the more I've been kind of in this little realm of my part of this community, you can definitely feel that. But is it amplified with Cats, or is it just, part of the Broadway, it's just part of the Broadway community?
I think it's just it's its own little experience. I mean, anytime you talk to someone who's done Cats, you can literally go, oh my God, you did Cats. Who were you? Did you do that part where this happened? And did you, oh my God. And like, it's just like, if you do a chorus line, it's the same thing. Like I've done a chorus line like 5 times, and I've played somebody else. And so my relationship to, when I played Bobby, to Sheila, anyone I meet who's played Sheila, I'm like, I was Bobby. And she's like, oh my God. And no one watching the show would know what that means. But for us having done it, it's the same experience. One of the things I will say about Cats that I think I share with every single person I ever meet who's done the show is how good our bodies looked when we did that show. Because you're just so active. I mean, I was snatched when I did that show.
It is when I left the first time I saw it, it was one of the things I like thought about was that looked like a workout.
Yeah.
Like an extreme workout.
I was in such good shape because you're using every part of your body and your stamina for singing while you're doing all that dancing. It's amazing. It's a great workout.
Non-stop too. I mean,
I think that should be a workout. The Cats, get your Cat's body or Cat's body workout or something like that.
I'm sure someone's doing dance numbers from there.
Sure.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, and I don't know how much you'll remember from this, but I usually like to go into the rumor mill of your characters. So I have not talked a ton about Skimbleshanks besides the episode I did on him. And so I'm curious if as you're learning it from from the outside in, do any of these rumors hold merit with your productions? So
I'll see what I can remember. Yeah.
The first one is that there's a relationship with Jenny Anydots.
I've always thought of Skimbleshanks as gay.
Okay.
So what I remember is his relationship with Jenny Anydots was more like sibling, because they're both like tabby cats.
Sister. So that would make sense, but then that would ruin this. Well, no, it wouldn't. Is that your Rumpelteaser's uncle? That's the other rumor that's out there.
Yeah, he was the uncles of the kittens. I remember that being
okay. So that was given to you.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, we're sort of the uncles of the kittens, and it wasn't just Rumple. It was like, what was the one who sings "Moonlight, not a man"? The other like little bitty the kittens. He's like the uncle of both of them, and it was constantly like trying to get them to stop playing and trying to get them to stop goofing around.
Okay, so that holds some merit then. The other one is that which would support your argument is that there is some relationship with Tugger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how that. I mean, maybe, but that was not told to me, and that was not something I ever played, because I always thought of Tugger and like Skimble's such a nice and neat and like orderly cat that I don't think he'd ever want to hang out with Tugger. I always remember him being kind of annoyed by Tugger because Tugger was so rambunctious.
That's the opposites attract type of mindset, though. I think that's where that kind of comes from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a choice. That's not a choice I made.
There's a lot of options here, and once you start really tying them together, it's like, well, they all can't be true, because then there'd be too many cross paths here.
Where are the lyrics? Where are the lyrics that support this? That's what I want.
Oh, there's no lyrics supporting almost anything that I've argued. The lyrics don't help most of my cases.
Okay.
But I want to know a little bit. So again, my frame of reference is just the 2016 production, in which I saw it twice, and the 1998 movie, and nothing else. I guess the new movie, if you want to count that.
Oof.
So I vividly remember the Skimbleshanks performance the first time I saw it, because at first I'm like, this is incredible. They're building a train. I was like, this is awesome. Then the light at the top of the train gets pointed out to the audience and decided to point it right at me. And I was like blinded for a second. And I was sitting there going like, why did they just shine a giant light directly at me as it's moving as part of the song? So I almost walked out a little angry at Skimbleshanks' song. But now I'm like envisioning somebody in the audience at that dinner theater, and someone's at the, I don't forget who it is, whether it's Mistopheles or Monkey's Trap, or somebody's at the top, and all of a sudden they point the light out, and now someone's just eating their dessert. Did you build, like, was that part of your number in the dinner theater?
Mm-hmm. Building the train. Yeah,
did you point a light out to the crowd?
No, because I never went on for Skimble at the dinner theater.
Okay.
I did Skimble at Walnut, but I don't remember the light ever going out into the audience. I remember it going sort of at an angle. But cats are mean, and cats are. I'll tell you. Can I just tell you? This is totally kind of off topic, but like being a cat in the audience, because when they have to go through the audience, right?
Yeah, and scare the life out of children.
Right. So there's those things, but then also like people would. I remember we were collecting for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and I'm standing in my Skimble costume in the lobby with a bucket, and people were like, "Can I pet you?"
That's a little awkward.
One lady asked, "Can I touch your butt?" I was like,
you said it yourself. You were in peak shape.
Well, I was, but I was like, I remember saying, "No, I'm not a real cat. I'm not a real cat. Like I'm a person." Like,
yeah, the petting is weird. That's the whole thing. That whole thing is weird. But I'm sure it's like it happens probably all the time.
Oh, I mean, if you're out in the lobby, you're just kind of asking for it. But like, I remember that you go and you shine the lights with at the beginning, and so we liked picking on the audience. So maybe somebody just wanted to pick on you at that performance of Cats.
It could have been. I was definitely. I had to have had a dumbfounded look on my face the entire time, but I wasn't on the aisle, so I'm kind of glad because I was not prepared for the green eyes at the beginning with the cats in the audience. I was actually really impressed by the set when I walked in, that I was spending so much time like looking around all the different things of the set, and then all of a sudden lights went off and there's a cat right to my right, and I was just like so thankful there were two people in between me and the aisle because I was not prepared for that experience. So I want to do a little rapid fire, and then I do want to talk my thesis of your take on Grisabella being the choice. But I want to go through a couple things with the with the show. So you've played a handful of different cats, but if there's one that they're going to go back on Broadway, which track would you want to be doing full time?
Monkish Trap. I liked playing that part.
Okay. What's your favorite and least favorite cat?
Oh God. Alonzo. Why? Like he's probably my least favorite. And my favorite cat, I think I really love Jenny Anydots.
Yeah, great. It's a great number, and the tap dance is really impressive. It's always it's one I think I underappreciated when I saw it. And then as I've watched more, I'm like, this is good. Not the movie version, the musical version.
Yes, correct.
Favorite song?
I mean, you can't go wrong with Memory. It's classic.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one I knew going in. If you were quarantined with one of the cats, which one?
Probably Mistopheles.
Yeah, I think that's the clear answer. Right? There's a couple you could argue, but
he can make anything out of anything. So
exactly, magic all day. And then okay, this one I have to explain. But I learned that there's a thing called Cats Tumblr from a fan who's part of it, and it's super interesting and super cool, like of the way Cats lives on beyond the theater, but they have interactions as if they're writing the character outside of Cats but as the character, so different scenes. So if you could write a character, if you were going to take over a character and take them out of the Cats universe but into the real world, and you were writing as the scenes and having interactions with other cats, which one would you want to write?
Caracopat.
Ooh, why? Just random choice.
Because Caracopat is not a fully fleshed out doesn't get a full real experience in the show and deserves it.
So you'd be telling the story for the first time, the untold story.
Untold story.
Okay, that's interesting. I always stick with McCavity there because I would want to just be able to do and break every law, and kind of I think it'd be fun to write that character of just not having to follow any rules and directions and just being kind of the antagonist the entire time.
I like that.
Okay, so now the $1 million question. I've argued that I don't think Grisabella is the right choice to die at the end of the musical, and so I'm curious, do you agree with me? And if you agree with me, who would you choose? And if you want to defend Grisabella, give me the defense of Grisabella in your eyes.
I mean, I would probably say I agree with you. I feel like Gus should go
Team
up
Gus,
to the heavy layer,
right? Such a obvious, I think, defense for Gus.
Yeah, I mean he's earned it. He was Fire for Fiddle, the Fiend of the Fell. I mean he's ready.
Yeah, I agree. Does it bother you as much as it bothers me that Grisabella wins?
No,
clearly not.
No, but I will. Can I just tell you? There's a story that somebody I did the show with who had done it on Broadway told me about how they would prep to do green eyes before the show, and you could hear the audience right from where they were, and that there was these. I don't know if you've heard the story, and if somebody's told you the story, you can delete it.
I don't think I have.
That there were these two ladies, old ladies, New York ladies, sitting in the front row, and they could hear them before the show. And she says to her friend, "Have you seen this show before?" And her friend says, "No." She goes, "Oh, it's so good. There's all these cats, and they go to this party, and at the end of the party, they take this old cat, and they blow her through the roof."
Such a simplified explanation of like just so simple. I mean that's hard. I mean, how could you not join her for that?
Right. I really so be like, they blow her through the roof.
That is phenomenal. That is, honestly, it is one of the cleanest and clearest explanations of the show I've heard.
That's it. And then you can start the show now. There you go.
Yeah, you can start the show. I mean, and that's the elevator pitch. That's the hook. It's like, hey, why do you want to go see it? Big party, blow her through the roof. We're done.
Let's go home.
That's amazing. So, tell me about the Broadway life coach.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I work on the side as I'm certified life coach, and of course, since the pandemic, so many of the people in our community are really struggling to figure out what's next, and it's become a huge project of mine to help people during this time. So I started a Broadway life coach Facebook group where we offer what I call Broadway life support to help people get through this time. So if anybody is looking for some support and some coaching, come check out BroadwayLifeCoach.com.
Amazing. And how else can we find you on the social medias?
Oh, I'm on all the socials. You can come find me on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook at Bret Shuford. It's Bret with one T, Shuford.
Amazing. It's great when they're all the same. Makes it so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, indulging these cats conversations.
I love
reminiscing about the dinner theater. I'm sure you're craving that dessert. Ready to go.
Peach melba. I should make like a YouTube video about making a peach melba.
Yeah, you're ready to go. Thanks for listening to this episode with Bret Shuford on The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Wrong Cat Died, or check out our website, thewrongcatdied.com.